This is how to make an easy logo in Blender. So start by creating a new project by clicking on General. Delete the preset stuff by shift clicking and delete. And then delete collection if you want to. Now go to your render settings, switch it from Eevee to cycles, switch it from CPU to GPU, and then change your viewport to 16 to make it easier to run, and keep render the same if you want. Turn on adaptive sampling and turn on denoise and switch it to optics. Now you want to go up to edit, then preferences, then click on the system tab. And if you have a GTX card, maybe choose CUDA, and then optics if you have an RTX or newer GTX card, and OpenCL if you have an AMD card. Go ahead and close out of this tab. Now go in the top left, click add, mesh, and create a new plane. So this is going to be the background of your profile picture or logo. So now you want to go to view, switch your viewpoint to top. Now you want to go to add and add a camera, and then bring the Z-axis up a little. Now you want to go into view and switch cameras to active camera. Now go into the bottom right in the camera settings. Now switch it from perspective to orthographic view. And then you can go to your project settings and change the resolution to whatever you want your thing to be. I'm going to do 1080 by 1080 for a profile picture. Now select your plane, click S to scale up, and left click to confirm. Now while the plane is selected, go in the bottom right in material settings. Now click new and create a new material, and then make it whatever color you want. I'm going to make it teal. Now go in the top right and switch it to textured view. Now click add on the top left of your screen, add a text. Now go in your text settings, and then you want to center it both horizontally and vertically. Now you can go in the top left, switch it to edit mode, and then edit the text. I'm just going to do bruh, and switch it back to object mode, scale it up with S, click to confirm. Now add a new circle, and this will just be a guide because YouTube profile pictures are circles. Now you want to add a new spotlight. Use middle click to pan your camera. Use scroll wheel to scroll in and out. You can transform objects in Blender with G, and then you can grab this yellow ball to move the direction of the spotlight. And then you can also use G and then click Z, X, or Y to lock to an axis. And now you can go into cameras and select the active camera again. Now you can just fine tune the direction of your spotlight. Now make sure you have your text selected. Now go into the modifiers tab. It looks like a wrench. Now add a modifier and click on solidify. So this will add thickness to the text. You can increase the thickness to whatever you want, and then switch the offset to 1. This makes it above the plane. Now go on the top left, switch it back to active camera. Now you can go ahead and add a point light. Now you can move your point light. I'm going to move it to the opposite side of the spotlight. That way you can light up the shadow. Now I'm going to add another light. It's going to be an area light. And then I'm going to scale it up to be roughly a bit over the size of my picture. Now I'm going to move it upwards above the text to light up the text. I'm also going to go ahead and move my camera upward too a little bit. Now go back in that camera view. Now go in your top right and switch it to rendered view. And notice how dark it is. So we want to fix the lights. So I'm going to start with the spotlight and go into the light settings. And then I'm going to bump up the wattage to about 1,000. And then you can play around with the numbers, but let's start off somewhere. I'm going to move it downward closer to the plane. That way it evenly lights the plane. You can also adjust the angle. Now go back into camera view. Now you can fix the position of the light. And also you can change the radius of the spotlight itself and have it cover a larger area. I'm just going to switch it to 90 because it's a square we're dealing with. I'm going to go ahead and up the wattage a bit higher. And so that's starting to look good now. And so now the area light is what lights up our text. So now we're going to turn up the area light a little bit. And that looks good. Now we can fine tune things. So this point line down here, we can change it to a secondary color that we want. I'm going to make this deep blue. I'm going to turn it up a little. Actually, the problem here is that the radius of the point light isn't big enough. So I'm going to turn up the radius so it's a little over half the picture. And I'm also going to up the wattage so it's visible but not overpowering the shadow. So now the text is kind of dark, so we're gonna create a new material and then just make it a pure white. And I'm also gonna turn down the roughness just so it's a bit more reflective. And then we're gonna go into the area light settings and turn up the wattage on that. Turn it ever so slightly, because if you turn it up too much, it's gonna overpower the shadow. So now I'm just playing with the location of the spotlight. Now you might notice that the shadow's a bit gone, so you can play with the settings of the spotlight and the area light to fix it. I usually want to keep the spotlight brighter than the area light, that way the shadows are still sharp. So now you can go in the top right and disable some of the UI elements. This will make it easier to see. And so it's almost there. Now just play with the light settings and you should be done. Now once you're completely done, go check your render settings. Now go to your top left, click render and render image. Now you just let this render out. Once it's completely done, you can use scroll wheel to zoom in and out just to make sure you check all imperfections. And then once you're done, you click image, then save as, and there you are, and now you're done.